Goldman Sachs has now raised the probability of a recession in the next year to 20%, up from 15%. But they're clear that these tariffs are bad for the economy, and that if he actually goes through with them, the recession odds are higher. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So yesterday on this program, I talked about how I think these tariffs from President Trump are really in the end likely just a power play, right? I mean, today he upped the ante on Canada again, raising tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum imports to a whopping 50%. Now, any rational economist will tell you, with regard to Canada, this makes no sense. In particular, with all sorts of differing explanations for the tariffs. I mean, some administration officials are insisting it's all about fentanyl, right? I showed you that on yesterday's show, played you the sound of that, which has never made any sense since a tiny fraction of the fentanyl coming into the U.S. is coming from Canada. And yet others, like President Trump himself, are insisting it's about helping the American economy, with yet others saying it's about reciprocal tariffs and fairness. Look, it is a tough thing to defend now that the stock market and potentially the broader economy are tanking. But just because it may be tough to defend, that doesn't mean many in the right-wing media won't give it the old college try, including, of course, at Fox News, trying their darndest to make it all seem like this makes perfect sense, that this is good. Some even suggesting that a recession might be just what the doctor ordered. All day yesterday and today, you had the hosts and experts on Fox News trying to spin this stock market freefall somehow as a good thing. This is Kevin O'Leary, one of the hosts of Shark Tank, who appears on Fox News all the time, right before the closing bell yesterday, talking about the Dow's 900-point drop like it's something to celebrate.
But this is very healthy. It's very healthy to have a significant correction like this and reset the entire stage, because the market has been extremely buoyant for a long time. And you should expect these corrections 12 to 18 months. And when they come, they're painful, but the bull case for the indexes remains intact. And I think we'll recover from this. Obviously, we're going to have to get through some of the narrative that's changing the rules on the economy, particularly trade rules. But I hate to say it, I'm glad this is happening.
He's just trying to somehow defend Donald Trump. And this is why this is all so important. Is if the right-wing media was pressuring Trump more, he would call it off. Now, look, he may be right about the stock market in the long term. I think he probably is right. That long term, I think the stock market's going to recover. I think in the end, Trump's going to pull these tariffs back anyway. But that doesn't mean that this is a good idea. It doesn't mean this is a good thing. There's almost no one who is a straight shooter who understands the economy who will tell you somehow this is good. Right after O'Leary was brought on Fox, they brought in Fox business host Taylor Riggs. She not only sort of co-signed O'Leary's point about the market being down being a good thing, she actually went a step further and said the market going up was a bad thing.
And you know what? I could not agree more with Kevin O'Leary. He's spot on. I think so many people, it's so easy to panic on days like today. But if you woke up, did anything change today about the fundamental awesome story of Microsoft? No. So this is panic selling. And to Kevin's point, it's healthy, it's good. We came into these markets 2 straight years where the market went straight up. That's not healthy either, right?
So it's not healthy that during Joe Biden's administration, the stock market was going up. We came into these 2 straight years. Right? It's just sort of bizarro world. All these supposed financial experts talking about how great it is that the market is going down. Now, by the way, they may be right that this is panic selling, right? I'm not saying it's not, but there's nothing good about it. And the hypocrisy is maddening because these exact same people would be over the moon if the market were going up. But more important than the market is the broader American economy, which also appears to be suffering. Now, of course, these pundits take their cues from President Trump, who Sunday on Fox News in an interview with Maria Bartiromo tried to temper expectations about the economy and soften the ground for a Dow plummet.
You said, look, we're going to have a disruption, but we're okay with that. Is that what you meant? The stock market going down was the disruption? What other disruption were you alluding to?
Look, what I have to do is build a strong country. You can't really watch the stock market. If you look at China, they have a 100-year perspective. We have a quarter. We go by quarters.
That's true.
And you can't go by that. You have to do what's right. What we're doing is we're building a tremendous foundation for the future, tremendous foundation.
You can't really watch the stock market, right? Okay. Some people would tell you that that is a completely fair comment, except that President Trump did nothing but watch the stock market. How many times on the campaign trail did we hear him hammer Joe Biden about downturns in the market? The market went down 3.6% in Trump's first 50 days in office. Only once since 1981 has the stock market gone down in the first 50 days of a president's term. That was in 2009 when Barack Obama took office right after the 2008 crash. But here's the much more important point than the market, which could be back up in a heartbeat. Goldman Sachs has now raised the probability of a recession in the next year to 20%, up from 15%. And they say the only reason it's not even higher is because President Trump could change his mind about the tariffs. They say, quote, the White House has the option to pull back if the downside risks begin to look more serious. In other words, they think or maybe hope Trump will blink. And he very well may. But they're clear that these tariffs are bad for the economy, really bad. And that if he actually goes through with them, the recession odds are higher. Of course that makes sense, but you won't hear that sort of obvious analysis from apologists in the right-wing media, like Fox Business host Larry Kudlow yesterday, claiming that the stock market downturn is just totally random. Has nothing to do with anything that President Trump is doing.
I don't know. I'm a little skeptical about the recession scenario. And then again, stocks correct when they correct, Brett. I mean, that's the beauty of the stock market.
That is the beauty of that.
Yeah, the beauty of the stock market. I mean, the hypocrisy is just astonishing. I'm sure it doesn't look beautiful to all those people with those 401ks. But again, you can't judge the economy just based on the stock market, unless you're, of course, Donald Trump circa December 2024. Fox News host Will Cain compared the economic woes to a recovering drug addict.
The analogy that's always worked for me is a drug addict, one who perhaps is addicted to heroin. Once they are pulled off that drug, they often struggle for life and sometimes have to take methadone to help them reach a level of health. Our economy has been addicted to government spending. The withdrawal of that government spending can send the patient, our economy, into a health crisis. But ultimately, it has to withdraw to once again get healthy. That seems to have largely been understood by President Trump.
This is connected to the tariffs. Trump is putting the economy in detox. I mean, honestly, it must be tough to sort of have to say that with a straight face. And this morning on Fox and Friends, Fox Business host Charles Payne also tried throwing a few metaphors at the wall to see if maybe one of them would stick.
What he was trying to do is to get us into a mindset that, hey, temporary bumps in the road are necessary for anything. If you've never cooked before and you take a baking class, you're going to burn a few things. If you've never exercised before, your first time you do crunches, you're going to hurt. All right. And so this is, I like that he's starting to pivot in terms of messaging.
These guys, they'll say anything. Look, You talk to economists, and they'll tell you that none of it makes sense, nor is any of it economically sound. These same people would be telling you exactly the opposite if the market were going up, and they would be giving Donald Trump the credit. And that is my bigger concern. Trump himself, in December, right before he took office, actually went to the stock exchange to ring the opening bell and promised investors this.
I think we're going to have a tremendous run. We have to straighten out some problems, some big problems in the world. When we left, we didn't have any of these problems. We didn't have Russia with Ukraine. We didn't have Israel October 7th. We didn't have the Afghanistan disaster. We didn't have inflation. We had no inflation. And we had a very strong economy. And we're going to do that again, but I think we're going to even up.
No matter what you think, Biden handed Trump a strong economy. Inflation was way down from its heights. Was inflation a problem? Yes. Is it down from where it had been? Yes. Is the economy overall considered strong? Yes. Look, it's pretty simple to figure out what the calculus is in the conservative media. If the market goes up, Trump wins. Trump's responsible. We should be appreciative of Donald Trump. If the market goes down, Trump is going to win. They ensure he can't lose no matter what. The thing is, those rules don't apply to everyday investors. Right now, they're losing big. Let's hope he pulls back these ridiculous tariffs. But here's the point. With his friends in the right-wing media spinning for him and telling viewers that everything's rosy, and this is just what the doctor ordered, who knows?